Hey guys, Coach Ben Lee here, checking in day 7. We're talking about a very, very dirty word, so I thought we'd go somewhere a little bit more uh, private where we can talk about something a little bit dirty, and that being my bedroom. Okay, now, guys, carbs. Let's talk about carbs. Carbs is a bit of a dirty word to some. To me, carbs is sexy. The reason why carbs are sexy is because once you know how to use them, they will be your fat burning NOS. All right. Now, carbs get a bad rap, and the reason why is because they taste good and we overeat the shit out of them. Now, what happens if we continually over and over and over eat carbs? We're going to downregulate our insulin, okay, and our body's going to not be able to manage those carbs that we're ingesting, okay. So quite often I find that guys and females that's diet might not be overly in a calorie surplus. So they might not be eating an abundance of calories, but they're still kind of 5 maybe 6 kilos overweight. And the reason being is because your body has lost the ability to manage and process carbs efficiently. Okay, and so what happens with this process is when your body, when you eat carbs, your pancreas will release insulin to regulate the blood sugar from the glucose response from when you eat carbs. Okay, now if your body doesn't have the ability to uptake these carbs, okay, so manage these carbs and put them into cells, because either one, the cells are full or there's not enough cells, then what's going to happen is then the blood sugar starts circulating the body, and then it's going to get laid down as fat. Now, often what will happen is the body, because it's trying to manage these carbs, or it's trying to find somewhere to put this blood glucose, okay, trying somewhere to put it. What happens is the body will then stimulate, or will tell you to eat more carbs so that you can release more insulin to try and fix this problem, okay. And so this is why we start to see an increase in obesity, okay, and the reason why the weight keeps stacking on. So it's that theory: once you pop, you can't stop. And everyone's ever been to a Christmas barbecue or something like that. You continually eat carbs, and it takes you ages until you fill up. But if you've ever been like Brazilian barbecue here in Brisbane, or an all-you-can-eat meat place, you eat a bit of meat, and you're pretty full pretty quick. That's because it shuts off the hormone leptin. Now that's a whole another blog. Now, going low carb, going no carb, there's many different ways out there. So first off, before I look at a client's protocol when it comes to how much carbs they're going to have in their diet, we really depend on where their set point is, where they've come from. So are they under eating? Are they already overeating carbs? Okay, so there's no one rule. Okay, for someone that's 20, 30 kilos overweight, then it's quite possible that I need to bring carbs out for a week or two, just to sort of let the body fucking relax. If someone's been under eating, then bringing carbs back in the diet at the right time can be very beneficial. Now, there's many methods out there. Okay, so there's carb backloading, there's intermittent fasting. Some people say that it's best to eat all the bulk of your carbs, around your workout. Studies show that if you eat carbs later on the night, it's going to help you with your fat loss as well. So it really comes down to like an individual thing, and it really comes down to body types. Okay, something that I'm just started learning about when it comes to body types and when it comes to sort of carbs. So I'm really excited to talk about this in a couple of videos time when it comes to body types and your carbohydrate ingestion intake. Now, what I use at the moment and is being really successful as for my female fat loss protocols is keeping carbs at your last 2 meals of the day. So studies show that this is beneficial for fat loss, okay, and then where they brought these studies from was from the Ramadan, okay, because people would then eat their carbs later in the evening and they would still lose quite a fair bit of body fat. And it doesn't matter sort of what time of day you would work out, you still have the majority of your carbs in the evening. It sort of goes into the carb backloading theory as well. Now, furthermore to that, it's carbs is such a tricky issue when it comes to individuals. What I would suggest is start with your carbs low if you're new, okay, and you're trying to lose fat, but we want to carb cycle them, okay. So we want to start with low days and high days. I've written a blog on this, so you can check that out as well. So by stimulating our body with the lower and high days with our carbs, it's going to allow us to sort of increase our carbs gradually over time. So carbs will then definitely aid you in your fat loss. And the reason being is because carbs promote an insulinogenic response. And insulinogenic response will then allow you to increase your overall sort of muscle mass, okay? How else can I break this down for you so it's really simple? So the more carbs you can have in your diet, the more muscle you're going to be able to build. The more muscle you can build, the higher your metabolism is going to be, because then you've got more muscle that needs more calories. The more muscle you have, the more cells you have then to uptake carbs. The more muscle you have, the stronger you become, the more of a hormonal response you can get from your training. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. So that in a nutshell is why we want to have carbs in our diet, and that's how carbs are going to help us achieve, long lean legs, because we're going to have these strong, we're going to have lean muscle there, which is going to help us have strong legs, which is going to help us burn more fat. Okay, make sense? I hope so. All right, now fruit's a carb. Now a lot of people are a bit scared of fruit. I give my clients anywhere between, again, rule of thumb, at least one piece of fruit a day, up to 2 pieces of fruit, okay, that I give my clients. And I usually keep them, post and pre-workout. It's a good time to include them there. Now, what about some carbs? So carbs, when it comes to training, all right. So obviously, carbs around your training is one of the prime times to have carbs. So the reason being, having carbs during or post or pre-workout is the time that your body is most insulin sensitive and is going to uptake those carbs and use those carbs efficiently, because muscles breaking down, they want to use that to help synthesize protein repair. Okay. Other than that, guys, carbs is such a broad issue. So what I'm going to leave you here with is carbs for female fat loss. Okay, so take this home. This is my methods, and this is what I use, and this is what I found effective. Okay, so with my 4 meals a day, like I spoke about with the protein video blog, is that with carbs, I will have them in meals 3 and 4 with my clients. Okay, as a general rule, for someone that's first new and starting out with me. Okay, now depending on where they are with their body fat levels will dictate how much carbs they have, as opposed to how much sort of protein, things like between carbs and fats. So my macro ratio is going to be 30 protein, 30 fats, 40 carbs. Okay, so like I said before, I'm gearing this for someone that's relatively new to the training regime. Okay, this is what I use as a safe fire bet to help with improving improving muscle mass, so that we can see some results, so that we can start to drop that fat off your legs, butts and thighs. Now, on top of that, we want to cycle that. Okay, so you might want to start with anywhere between sort of 50 grams of like sweet potatoes, something like that, up to 200 grams. Okay, so you might want to do like a 50 gram day, a 100 gram day, and a 200 gram day. and then you can do that at your meals 3 and 4, and then again at 3. So you let me start that again. So at meals 3 and meal 4, you're going to have your carbs, okay? And at each meal, so on a low day, you might have 50 at those 2 meals, and on a medium day, you might have 100 at those 2 days, and then a high day, you might have 200 at those 2 days. Now, carbs, as a general rule, if fat loss is your goal, we want to have single ingredient foods. So we want carbs that are nutrient dense. Okay, so carbs that have phyto micronutrients in them that are going to help us support our bodies to become the healthiest we can be. Now, it's not to say that you can't have other carbs in your diet, all right? But if fat loss is your goal and you're only just starting, or you haven't been seeing results, then this is the method that I would use. Okay, guys? I'm hoping you're loving it. It's getting late for me tonight. Been a massive day again. Pumped out the 2 videos today so that I can take the Saturday night off and chill out with Amy. Yes, so peace out, guys. Ben Lee out.